licensed amateur operators and unlicensed listeners alike. All licensed amateur operators are welcome to participate in the order you are checked in. Unlicensed listeners are welcome to listen and learn, but please refrain from transmitting. We encourage respectful discussions on topics such as disaster preparedness, self-sufficiency, emergency communication, survival skills, resource management, as well as local, national, and global current events. Your net control station for this net is W5DMH. When checking in, please provide your call sign, your county, and your name. We'll do a sequential style net, and you'll be called for your traffic in the order you were checked in. Station traffic may consist of local weather events or any other topic you would like to bring up and share with the listeners on the net. After you complete your traffic, please return the net to the NCS station, which again tonight is W5DMH. So now we're going to take we're going to take short time check-ins. Any short time check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net? Call now. No short times heard, so we're going to take regular check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report. Net call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel.
Net control, here is Kilo 8 Oscar Bravo, Bill, Macomb County.
Glad you could make the trip, Bill. Appreciate that. Any other any other check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net? Call now.
This is Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Charlie Golf, Ron in Clare County.
Got you in the mix there, Ron. Thank you for joining us tonight. Any additional check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net? Call now. Nothing else heard, so we're going to go ahead and roll up to the top, but I got a public service announcement to make first. So first and foremost, the live stream that I've been doing on YouTube every week is going to end. It's going to come to an end tonight. Tonight will be the last one. Going forward, I am going to do the live chat like we used to do, but without any audio. I think we've kind of been giving everybody a crutch for not using radios, which was the intent of all of this, was to use the ATS-20 if you don't have a regular HF rig. Use the antenna, become proficient at being able to listen to us that way. And I think a lot of folks are skipping over that, not bothering with any of that. And when the time comes, they won't be prepared. And we're just enabling bad behavior at this point. So we're going to return it back. So even though you don't have a license, you can still participate via the live chat. And if you have an ATS-20 radio and a long wire antenna, you can listen to us without a ham license or a ham rig. So we'll encourage that every week, multiple times. So with that, we're going to roll it up to the top of the net and go with Mike, KD8YZV out of Mecosta County. Mike, what's the status up in Mecosta County tonight?
Good evening, Dan, and good evening to everybody on the frequency this evening. This is Mike in Mecosta County, qualifying KD8YZV. Everything is green here. Like Joe reported from Indiana, prices for fuel are all over the place. I too paid $3.29 day before yesterday, but I've seen it as high as about $3.75, so it's all over the place. Let's see. Boy, I just lost what I was going to say. I'm going to corroborate what he said. The store did seem to be fairly well stocked, but I noticed another price jump across the board at the store this past week. A lot of items went up in cost, so I'm sure everybody else is seeing that as well. You weren't here the last time, Dan. I did want to point out that I'm hearing reports that China, who's the biggest exporter of gun cotton, is going to stop exporting that to the U.S., which that will affect our ability to make gunpowder and ammo, etc. So I would suggest you stock up on that particular precious metal if you're able to at this time. I'm going to send it back to W5DMH, KD8YZV, and I am going to say 73s. I do have company this evening. Take care, gentlemen.
KD8YZV from W5DMH. Well, I got you at 10 over there, Mike. Thank you for that green report out of Mecosta County. Thank you for the information relative to the gunpowder materials. Something else I heard recently as well, report, and I think it was in Grayman, that ammo sales are going to become more difficult and more expensive because there is a huge amount of ammo being sent to Ukraine at taxpayer expense and making it more difficult for us to buy ammo here in North America. And then you couple that with this shortage of materials coming out of China. Yeah, ammo is going to become very painful here pretty quick. So if you can get it now. With that, we're going to drop down to Mike out of Lake County, KE8 EMA. Mike, what's the status in Lake County tonight?
Thank you, Dan. Yes, this is Mike in Lake County, northwest quarter of the state. Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha. Everything's a solid green up here. I just wanted to add on to what Mike from Macasta was saying, though, about store shelving. As an example, many of the Myers brands I found are sold out, which tells me that for most people there's an economic crunch going on, and they're looking for the cheapest of a particular product that they can get, which is typically the store brand. Just as a minor example, at a potluck I was at, I made pasta salad, which requires some type of Italian dressing. So I went to Meyer to buy the Italian dressing, and I took the last bottle of the Meyer brand, completely empty after that. And as I looked around at other things, I realized that many of the store brands are gone. So people are looking, I think, primarily at a real economic crunch more than a supply of products in the shelves and in the stores. And like Mike, gasoline prices are very various. I think 3 days ago I paid $3.29 at Beacon and Bridges up here, a local chain, and but it's been as high as $3.69 at other places. So I just keep when I'm out and driving around, I always fill up my tank when I find a cheap stores. Other than that, that's about it. Solid green, weather's beautiful today. I almost was tempted to drive out to the beach today to watch the sunset, but I didn't want to spend the gas money. So this is Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha, returning back to Net Control, Dan. Thanks for everything. I'll stick around for the rest of the reports, but they have nothing new to add. Over.
KE8 EMA from W5 DMH. Well, I got you about 5 over tonight, Mike. Really good signal. Glad you could make it in tonight, and appreciate that green report out of Lake County. And it's interesting that you're seeing some of the same things that Mike is seeing as well. With that, we're going to drop down to Sparky out of Montcalm County, KE8 FDT. Sparky, what's the status in Montcalm County? Let me get my words straight. Montcalm County tonight.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Dan, for doing this. Everything's green in Montcalm County. I did notice what EMA was saying, Mike, from Lake County, where a lot of store brands, are about it. I mean, just all out. Everything else seems to be pretty well stocked up there. But, yeah, I've just been doing a lot of stuff around the house. Actually, the person I've known the longest, as far as a friend, come up from Lansing yesterday with his family. Can't believe I've known him for like 58 years. We met like in kindergarten, so it was really good seeing him and whatnot. And he had stuff on the grill and spent some time in the pool and really held out for us. So other than that, I'll send it back to you. I've got halfway through a project I got to finish up tonight, so I'm gonna call this my final say here. Back to you, Dan. Thanks again. 73. This is Kilo Echo 8, Foxtrot Delta Tango.
KE8 FDT, Sparky out of Montcalm County. We'll appreciate that green report out of Montcalm County, Sparky. And I had you at 10 over on the meter. Good audio. Glad you could take a few minutes and join us tonight. And with that, we're going to drop down to Mike out of Kalamazoo County, KE8 NLE, working on a new dipole tonight that earlier was doing outstanding. So it'll be interesting to see how you come across now. What's the status in Kalamazoo County tonight, Mike?
W5 DMH, KE8 NLE, Mike in Kalamazoo County. Status here is green, and I'm just going to parrot what everybody else said about gas and stores and things like that. It's very similar here in Kalamazoo, that's for sure. And yeah, I did build a dipole. Actually, I built it this afternoon. I built another one yesterday that I was testing during field day. But the one I'm on now, I cut it specifically close to this band. It was meant to be here. This band is still just a tiny bit long. It did drive flat at around 3.8 instead of 3.9. So it's 3.85, I should say. It's an inverted beat. The apex is at about 15 feet right now, and the ends are about 4 feet off the ground. Just on my temporary mast, I take portable with me. I am actually working portable here. I'm on the 991 battery operated, sitting in the sun having a cocktail. And so that's the antenna though. And it seems to work really good. Just made out some 14 gauge, just standard wire. It seems to work good. I'm going to trim it back a little bit more, and then the plan is to make a few links for it so I can get down to the lower end of 80 meters there for the digital portion. Again, everything here is green in Kalamazoo, and I'll turn it back to you, Dan. W5DMH from KE8NLE.
KE8NLE from W5DMH. Well, your signal's outstanding. That's the best I've ever heard you, I think. You're doing 10 over into my station over here on the other side of the state. Audio is perfect. I think you're doing great with that antenna. Good job. Thank you for that green report out of Kalamazoo County. Appreciate that. And with that, we're going to skip Joe out of Stark County in Northwest Indiana, KD9 WSL. The early check-ins, he gave us a green for Northwest Indiana and kind of echoed the same thing that we heard from Mike and Mecosta and Mike and Lake and Sparky and Malcolm. Everybody's seeing kind of the same issues where fuel prices are all over the place. Store shelves are sporadic. Things aren't wonderful, but they're still green. So with that, we're going to drop down to Bill out of Macomb County here in Michigan, K8OB. Bill, what's the status in Macomb County tonight?
Good evening, Dan, and everybody on frequency. I would have to give a green report for Macomb County. Fuel is ready and available. Cheapest I've seen was $3.34 a gallon over here. No travel restrictions of any sort either. Grocery stores, wife reported to me that everything seemed to be pretty well stocked. She didn't. I had to ask her to maybe pay a little more attention to some of the store brand stuff because that's interesting. It seems to be pretty common across everybody's report here tonight about the store brands being bought up, and that I guess it makes sense considering the inflation and the economy and whatnot. So that's about all I got, Dan. I'm going to send it back to Net Control from K8OB. So back to Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel.
K8OB from W5DMH. Well, I had you at 20 over there, Bill. Outstanding signal, good audio. Thanks for the green report out of Macomb County, and thanks for taking time to join us tonight. Appreciate that. And also, thank you very much for hosting the net for me a couple weeks ago. So, it's a week ago. I appreciate that. That was very helpful. I had some Father's Day stuff to deal with, and I had a great time with my son, so that was cool. I really appreciate that. And with that, we're going to drop down to Ron out of Clare County, KE8QCG. Ron, what's the status in Clare County tonight?
Good evening to everybody on the net tonight. KE8QCG here up in Clare County. I'm gonna call it green, Dan. I honestly haven't really gotten out and really looked at anything here the last week. Pretty much basically what everybody's saying, gas prices, I've seen them all over the place. At Jay's, I was at Jay's a little over a week ago. Primer situation seems to be pretty good now, all except the large rifle primers, but the primer shelf was starting to fill back up a little bit. So I thought that the reloading supplies was getting back a little more to normal. I did see, I know Forward Observer reported on the ammo and the gunpowder stuff here this last week also. But yeah, other than that, we're all doing as best we can, and all we can do is try to get ahead of the curve, so to speak. But yeah, green up here, and Dan, you're coming in anywhere from plus 10 to plus 20, and pretty much everybody's coming in loud to clear tonight up here anyway. So with that, I'll turn it back over to W5DMH from KE8QCG.
KE8QCG from W5DMH. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Ron. Appreciate that. Appreciate the green report out of Clare County. Obviously, you're seeing some of the same things as some of the other counties. And I'm going to switch over to the live chat. So we've got Dave and Sonia out of Lapeer County. reporting green. Gas was $3.39 on Friday. And one of the things that Dave and Sonia brought up, and I was thinking the same thing as we were talking about the store brands, is are the store brands being bought out or are they not being produced? And I kind of wonder about that because generally the store brands are just rebranded, top brands. And sometimes, okay, it's seconds from the top brands. But maybe the top brands are selling well enough that they're not supporting the second brand or the off brands. So it's a good question. I don't know how we get the answer to that. That would be interesting. And then we've got Sid out of Asante County, Minnesota, reporting green, $2.98 for gas, store shelf stock, no issues. Boy, I'm always jealous of his fuel prices over there. Then we got Patrick out of Fenton, late to the party. He's calling green for Fenton. So Fenton's Genesee County, I think. Might be Oakland County. I can't remember. Everything's the same as far as gas prices go. He travels the state for work every day, and it's all over the place. And he has a brother that works for the food warehouse out by Fowlerville, and they're having a hard time keeping up with orders for what it's worth. So the manufacturers are struggling a little bit, apparently. And for my own Lapeer County report, I'm reporting green. We haven't had a problem getting anything. I did pick up a quarter cow the other day, and it cost me $7.25 a pound after processing and all in. I paid $7.25 a pound, which I think is up. I think the last time I bought beef, it cost me like $6 and some change a pound. So that's up too. So even if you're buying from a farmer, it's going to cost you more money. So with that, I'm going to roll it back up to the top of the net. Well, wait a second. I'm going to throw it back out there for any other lagging check-ins, any later lagging check-ins. Call now to Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor November, Kevin, Freeport, Michigan, Kent County.
Wow, I have one way out there in the distance after Kevin. Can you try again? Yeah, I can't get that guy. So I'm going to roll back to any other late check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report, and I call now. Nothing else out there. So, Kevin, I'm going to roll back to you, KE8 Victor November. You want to go ahead and give us a report for Kent County, please?
KEAVN here. Yeah, Kent County's green, same thing. Store brands are hard to come by. And I did hear that about the gunpowder with China holding out on us now. So, yeah, get it while you can. But other than that, food and everything's there. No restrictions. So, yeah, Kent County's green. With that, I'm going to turn it back to the next KE8VN.
KAVN from W5DMH. Well, I got you at about 15 over tonight, Kevin. You always have an outstanding signal, but you're kind of overdoing it tonight. Band is being your friend. With that, we're going to roll it back up to the top. KE8EMA, Mike out of Lake County. Anything additional for the net tonight?
This is Mike in Lake County, KE8EMA. Nothing additional, Dan. I'm just enjoying listening to the reports from all over, which is, I can hardly ever hear everybody. I could not hear that last guy who tried to check in, like you couldn't hear him either. But other than that, everybody is coming through super good tonight. 10 to 15 over, except for you. You're usually close to 20, and you're right there again. Other than that, I'll probably be checking out at this time. Got other things to do before it gets dark up here. So this is Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha, reporting green for Northwest Michigan.
Well, thanks again for joining us tonight, Mike. We appreciate that. KE8EMA from W5DMH. Good signal coming out of Lake County. Appreciate that. With that, we're going to drop down to KE8NLE, Mike out of Kalamazoo County. Anything additional for the net tonight, Mike?
W5DMH, KE8NLE. Not a whole lot. Just like I say, it sure is different having a non-compromised antenna. Normally here at the shack, like I said, I'm working battery power here, but I am at the home. Kind of temporary setup, and normally I run a 10 through 40 end-fed half wave that I run through my tuner and load that up to get into the radios when I'm here at the house. But everybody sounds real good. I'm sure that's part of the band conditions. My noise here is low, like everyone else's, I think, tonight, and it sounds real good. And then with the stores, I think that the gentleman that came in and mentioned something about the manufacturing and keeping up with the orders there on food. Part of that is consumer demand is not settled down. We're all buying as much as we ever have. I haven't really changed my lifestyle. It might cost me a little bit more, but it doesn't cost me enough that it's changed what I do. And so I think that's a good thing for our economy. And we just got to keep trucking through it. We're all going to be great. W5 DMH KE8 NLE.
KE8 NLE from W5DMH. Well, that dipole's helping. I know it is, because you sound better now than you ever have. And I'm getting you at 10 over. So rockin' signal coming out of Kalamazoo County, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. And as far as buying goes, or buying habits go, I would say that there might be a little bit of the opposite going on, and this is common in election years. On an election year, people tend to be a little nervous, a little anxious. And I know myself, and I think there's probably a lot of people like me, I'm kind of overstocking on stuff right now because I'm not comfortable with where the future is going. I don't have a good vision of the future. So I'm making sure that I'm well stocked going forward. So my buying is probably up rather than down. Store brands notwithstanding, I typically don't buy store brands, but I may be revisiting that if the prices keep going the way they're going. With that, we're going to drop down to Bill out of Macomb County. Bill, K8OB. Anything additional for the net tonight?
Good evening, Dan. No, not much more other than thanks again for hosting the net as always, and your signal's bouncing anywhere from 20 to 40 over. Band's playing really well. Seems with everybody tonight, and the gentleman from I think Kalamazoo NLE with that dipole, he's even coming in here close to 20 over. So he's sounding really good, but everybody's sounding pretty good. So. With that, thanks again, Dan, and that's all I got. So, K8OB, back to net control.
K8OB from W5DMH. Yeah, I got you a solid 20 over, Bill. Always stable in that 20-plus range. So, and the audio is always like FM radio station quality. So I really appreciate that. And thanks again for hosting the net the other day. I really appreciate that as well. And with that, we're going to drop down to Ron out of Clare County, KE8 QCG. Anything additional for the net tonight, Ron?
No, everything. I pretty much said my piece. Everybody out there, take care and be well. So with that, back to W5DMH from KE8 QCG.
KE8 QCG from W5DMH. Well, thanks again for joining us tonight, Ron. Always glad to have you in there out of Clare County, and appreciate that green report out of Clare County. With that, we're going to drop down to Kevin out of Kent County, KE8 VN. Anything additional for the net tonight, Kevin?
KE8 VN. No, nothing to add. Yeah, you're coming in crystal clear, 20 over here, too. Yeah, nothing else to add, so I'll turn it back to the net. KE8 VN.
Roger that. KE8VN from W5DMH. Yeah, it's still 20 over there, Kevin. Outstanding signal as well. I don't have anything else for the net tonight, I don't think, other than at 7:30 a GMRS net starts that's running off of the Michigami network, which is, 16 repeaters now, mine included up here in Mayville. So if you have an opportunity to dial around on GMRS, you could potentially hear that network do their net at 7:30. So 6 minutes to that one if you're interested. And those of you that are in range of my repeater, you can pick that up off of my repeater as well. So with that, I'm going to call the ball and release the frequency back to its previous use. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to say 7-3 to all on the air and on the live chat. I appreciate all of you taking the time out of your evening to participate in the net, and I will be W5DMH clear on this frequency upon your finals.
Hey, Dan, this is Mike. I got something to add.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, thanks. I was in and out, and I did hear you talking about the store brands versus the name brands. And what is going on, from what I'm hearing, is, let's say Heinz ketchup, for example, they don't have enough supply to make, let's say, the Meyer brand and the Heinz brand, and they make more money off their own brand. So that's what they're making right now. That's why the store brands are disappearing, because those are typically made by, you know, the big name folks. So that's what's going on there. This is KD8YZD 73. I will be clear.
KDAYZV 73, and thank you for that updated information. I think that's where Dave and Sonia were going with it too, is the manufacturers are struggling to support both brands. And again, we're going to return the frequency back to its previous use, and I'm going to be W5DMH clear on your finals.
73 Dan from K8OB.
'73s, everyone. This is KE8 QCG clear.
73 to everyone. Have a great week. KE8 NL8.
43s, everybody.